I don't think this is something that will shock anyone, but guess what? Activision and Bungie are buying people. Yes, motherfucker, you heard that correctly and read the title of the video correctly. Activision and Bungie are basically buying good publicity, and who are they using? The biggest internet prostitutes possible, YouTubers and streamers. Oh man, people are willing to take it up the ass more than the goddamn YouTube order. Now let's be clear here for a second. Kickbacks are nothing new. Influencers, paid advertisers, nothing new. Spokespeople, nothing new. That's why you see Matthew McConaughey doing Lincoln commercials talking about how much he likes driving their cars and cashing those Lincoln checks when they come in the mail, right? That's why you see Peyton Manning pushing DirecTV and Nationwide Insurance on television, not because he gives a fuck about your TV provider or insurance, but because these companies pay him money to give a fuck about your TV provider or insurance. So nothing about this is illegal, immoral, unethical. It's all legit, provided the company puts in the fine print that someone is a paid endorser. Not a company employee, but a paid endorser. You can hawk whatever product you want on TV, radio, or the internet. This is nothing new. A perfectly legal agreement with two parties. Well, until you get to the internet. As anyone with an internet connection will know, Destiny has been struggling since about the second week since the motherfucker launched. Initially, the game was met with more positivity than the original, but once you got to the end game, you realized the game had massive issues. There's essentially no fucking end game. No incentive to continue playing the game with limited replay value. Basically, you're doing this shit for shits and giggles at this point. When you visit Bungie's toxic forums, the place is filled with about 90 to 95% garbage posts of anger. Bungie sucks. Destiny sucks. This game is bullshit. Play Warframe. Play Destiny 1. Play Fortnite. Whatever the fuck it is. There are all kinds of posts on there complaining about the game. Same thing on Reddit. Same thing on YouTube. Fucking hey, I complain about the game. Because there's a lack of shit to do once you beat all the pieces of the game. It's not like you're collecting anything important or you're playing challenging and changing content each week. You're playing the same fucking shit after the weekly reset, and there's like 4 hours of gameplay tops for the whole week. That's it. Bungie knows they have a problem. They see the statistics of their user base not playing. They see streamers migrating to other games. They see YouTubers who gladly kissed their ass for months turning on them saying how bad the game is. And to be fair, to be fully fair, most of these people are doing this more than just natural dick licking. They're people who genuinely like Destiny and want to see it improve. And the only way to do so is to create videos that gets Bungie's attention. There are videos which will make their own share of suggestions, and then some that absolutely rip the studio apart for bullshit. However, when money comes into play, what do you think these digital whores do? Oh, motherfucker. Wave some of that Bungivision money in their face, and in seconds, these piles of human garbage come running back like a crackhead looking for a hit. They come racing back to that Destiny teat for some more milk because they know you can't bite the hand that feeds you. You can nibble on it. You can playfully bite it, but once you draw blood, it's over for you, motherfucker. So a few weeks ago, there was a private event to help create some of the hype for the Curse of Osiris DLC. It's coming up next week and shit like that. They invited major websites who cover video games like IGN, GameSpot, Kotaku. Then they invited some YouTubers and streamers to the event as well because they know these people can get the word out a little bit quicker than some of these main websites. Activision, of course, paid for all of their expenses and had them come in on their dime. More on that later because I have to dive into that. But these select people got to test the game, see the content up close, play pretty much the whole damn thing ahead of time. They sign a non-disclosure agreement, an embargo agreement that states what they can and can't say about the content. Then they go back home to their miserable lives and they make some videos hyping up this fucking content. And when you hype up the content, you have to make sure that Activision paid for your travel to this event. Make it seem generous that they did this for you. Make it seem like this was out of their own generosity that they paid for you to visit the Bungie studios and test the content. It's not generosity. It's because they had to, you dumb pieces of shit. It's called disclosure, you dickheads. Part of the payments and the reasons you were brought to the studio is to hype up the game. Talk about it positively. Mention things you like, changes you like, and the pieces that you think Bungie's doing to listen to fans and improve the game. If you don't believe me, go watch any of the videos of the people that were invited to the event. I won't mention names, but you can find plenty of these assholes posting daily videos or streaming every fucking day. Watch how the beginning of each of those videos is almost identical to one another. Almost every single part of these people who were invited to that event, it's like they were given a fucking script to follow. Watch how they mention Activision was generous enough to pay for their way, and then they proceed to hawk the product again. Now remember, not illegal. Because this is no different than Peyton Manning, Matthew McConaughey examples that I mentioned earlier. They're being paid to be an influencer, and the disclosure of being a paid agent is part of the legal proceedings, probably on page number 2 of their NDAs that half of these dickheads didn't even read. Now, in return, they got some footage. They're posting up videos of content that they got to play, they're hyping up the game, they're talking a good amount of shit as to why this is the best DLC Bungie could make, because they fucking paid to do so. Not a single one of these internet prostitutes is stating anything bad about the game because they can't. They won't bite the hand that feeds them because they sold their nutsack to Bungivision and they ain't got the balls to do so until the shit releases. They're getting free footage for their channels, free views, just because they have the Curse of Osiris footage that other channels do not have the access to. That's the benefit of going, knowing they can return and make more money off this fucking charade. Bungivision is getting free publicity over the internet right now, all because they paid for their trip expenses, which is minimal compared to what a full-blown ad blitz would cost, because here's the reality of how fucking stupid these channels are. Actual businesses, you know, the professional websites that do articles on all video games, they did not accept payment for the expenses. They can't. Those are called kickbacks. Websites like IGN, GameSpot, Kotaku, they funded their employees to go, and guess what? Their reviews of the game are far more skeptical. All you have to do is visit their site, see their commentary on the content. They praise portions they feel are worthy of praise, and then they question some of the ideas being implemented in things not in the game. IGN alone said, I don't see what this actually adds. It's just a small condensed portion of the game, but it doesn't add much to the grand scheme of Destiny. GameSpot said basically the map is one big giant donut that doesn't really add much to the game. They don't rip the game a new one, but it's not blinding praise. It's focused on the facts that they're allowed to state. It offers some opinion as to whether this is an improvement to the game, and they can do so because they're not paid shills for the DLC. Streamers and YouTubers can't say that. And the best part is, all the hypocritical shit that they've been posting over the past few weeks is now null and void. About 3 to 4 weeks after the launch of the game, one of the more known Destiny players made a post on Reddit about the state of the game, only a month in. And he detailed some good issues that were known about the game. No varying rolls on the guns, no reason to have a power level when the content really doesn't scale, no point to a prestige nightfall, the ability to hit max level without actually having to play in the hardest content of the game. His post nailed what was wrong with the game. It was utterly fucking accurate. Yet now he's invited to this event. Has to mention, within the first sentence of his preview videos, that his trip was graciously paid for by Activision, and then proceeds to feel how now he feels powerful compared to his light level. How the guns offer a variety of options now that the content is getting harder without being able to tell us how it's actually getting harder. Basically, his entire post on Reddit was solved by this DLC. Man, that's fucking amazing. Bungie heard this one asshole, went out and changed the entire game to match this one person's complaint. Do you believe that? Or do you believe Activision paid this guy to say that shit? What do you think is the more likely scenario? That Bungie made changes to a game to solve one person's Reddit post, or that Activision paid the motherfucker off? Why is it all the people who had their way paid to Bungie Studios have not released a single criticizing video since that point? Did the game magically get better? Is the DLC that fucking amazing? Or was part of the trip funded by gag orders, which makes more sense? Now, at the end of the day, none of this shit that Bungivision is doing is illegal. They know better, and their lawyers know the law. They paid for publicity, and they're getting it. They paid less in airfares for a couple of schmucks on the internet. You know, they paid their hotel, they paid some food, fuck off, big deal. Probably totaled maybe a couple $1,000s compared to the millions of dollars ad blitzes would require. They're paying off these dumb fucks in less money than it would take to actually advertise their goddamn game. The few $1,000s in expenses are basically paid goodwill on behalf of these channels who are now praising the upcoming DLC. All these people that put money in their pockets and putting content videos out on the internet, oh, they're no longer skeptical of the game. Meanwhile, the companies that actually paid for their employees' way to go, IGN, GameSpot, and Kotaku, are providing a bit more skepticism in their reviews. You know, buying good publicity is not illegal. It's not immoral. It's not unethical. But from a video maker's standpoint, their videos are no longer opinions. Their videos are no longer personal thoughts. They're paid advertisements. These guys who want to criticize the game are basically taking money now, saying the game, oh, it's a lot better than it was, and then what are they going to do after the fact? Are they going to go back to criticizing the game? Are they going to go back to saying, oh, this game wasn't what I thought it was? No. They got paid for that. They're getting paid for their publicity. And anytime they want to take money turn around and then say, well, this game is not good, that's just fucking bullshit. That is being an internet prostitute. That shows that their opinion can be bought at any point by any company, and the fact that they want to make a video criticizing shit doesn't mean a goddamn thing if a company can just buy them out. These pieces of shit should not be listened to. These pieces of shit who are posting up the content stating Activision paid their way out of the goodness of their heart aren't saying that they were basically buying publicity. That's all they are. The channels that weren't paid, the channels that didn't go, the companies that sent their employees, they're obviously continuing their skepticism of the content because they weren't paid to do so, because they're free will thinkers who can actually make videos on their own. And you can just go to see any one of these channels and see the difference in videos as to who got paid and who didn't, because it's very obvious that Bungivision had this non-disclosure agreement that said you can't bash any of the DLC. That being said, I'm still gonna play the motherfucker. I got the damn season pass, man, so I'm stuck playing this goddamn shit. This DLC and the next fucking DLC, man. So next week, you guys will see me on the Curse of Osiris. I know it's not gonna be that good. I know I'm gonna get pissed as soon as I fucking play it, but the fact that I already bought the motherfucker means I'm gonna have to play this shit. So as always, rate, comment, subscribe, and all that good shit. And stay tuned for upcoming videos when I criticize the motherfucker, because Bungivision sure isn't paying me to be quiet.